Hi, this is Luke Rowe, and I call this video Mustache, not mustache, but must-stash. I'm going to talk about a little bit of what I've been drying, what I've been freezing, and what I've been canning. So let's start. So first, these are grape leaves that I'm putting in a freezer bag, and I'm going to freeze them downstairs. I'll show you everything else that I've freezed. And then I showed you this in another post that I did. They're called garden crates. I got from the garden factory for only I think it was like $1 or $2. And I use them for harvesting. So I bring it out and put everything in there, and then bring it inside and decide what I want to do with it. And I also dry stuff in it. So instead of hanging everything, this makes it really easy just to put it in there, stack it over there, and it saves a lot of space. And so people don't, a lot of people work right here and they have all this stuff like touching their head and stuff, so it's kind of awkward. But anyway, let's go right over here and I'll show you the drying station. Alright, so here's the drying rack, and what I do is I put the freshly picked stuff on the bottom, because that's going to take the longest to dry, because the ones on the top have already been there for like a couple weeks. So what I do is this, put that at the bottom, and then, well, I'm going to have to show you everything that's drying. So here is some water pepper. It's almost fully dry, so that's awesome. I love that they're stackable. It's so awesome. Next one up is corn. These are from the husk. I'm going to grind them into flour stuff. And then these are the actual leaves. So they're still drying here. We'll stack that on there. Let's see what's next. We have some lemon balm. A very small harvest of mint here. That's still drying. We have more lemon balm here. And these are the spring onion sprigs that I posted about. They're still pretty. There's a lot of moisture still in them, so we'll have to wait a while for them to dry. So just patiently wait. And then I always have an empty one on top. So if I'm picking stuff to dry or to harvest with, I just leave it right on the top. And then right here on the table, there's a bunch of ones that are turning. So I just picked them up to take the stress off the plant. So this is all from one picking today, and I haven't picked it in like a week. So there's all this. There's all of this. Look at that, guys. It's crazy. And then we have a bunch of other beefsteak and stuff over here. But that's not really part of the video. So we'll head downstairs and I'll show you everything else. Alright, sorry for the lack of light. Creepy, isn't it? Anyway, so we have the grape leaves. I'm gonna show you everything else that I'm freezing right now from even months ago. Okay, so I literally have a whole shelf to myself, I guess. All of these are frozen tomatoes that are gonna be for pasta sauce. I was planning, I mean, I bought like a bunch of jalapenos and stuff, and I don't know what I was thinking, because you can't really cube like frozen tomatoes. And like Ruth Ann Zimmerman, she kind of drained some of the liquid out, and I mean, you can't really do that with tomatoes that are frozen. So I just decided to do, I mean, I might do ketchup even, we'll see. But ketchup and pasta sauce is what I'm planning on making with all those tomatoes. And then, let's see, we have this. This is freshly picked White Russian kale that I just picked today. Usually I blanch it because it really minimizes it, but it's awesome to have like this. Usually if you freeze it, it's like all the nutrients are in there, you know? And then we have, I still have to, I don't know actually what I'm gonna do is maybe just keep it frozen and then use it for soup or something, but this is all, here I'll show you. This is all sweet marjoram. I think I picked it like last year or early this year maybe. So, yeah. I think I'll just leave it in there, and as I need it, I'll probably put it in soup and stuff. I think that's all natural. Okay, here is all this stuff. Okay, so fig leaves for dolmas. That's what I'm planning on using it for, but we'll see what I find out with that. And then I'm gonna put these along like near them, because this is grape leaves, which I usually use for the same thing. Forage greens from September 4th, so not too long ago. That's how they look when you blanch them and then put them in balls. So and we have the leeks that I harvested from June 18th. That's how they look. Sorry for the lighting, it's not everything will look alike now. Here's more leeks. I didn't date that one, but more leeks. More leeks. There's another leek. There was a lot of leeks. Here's more. Oh, these are just from Hostas. That's what I put on it. But they're blanched, and it's from July 3rd. Then we have more forage greens. I didn't put these into balls, but I'm pretty sure I chopped them up. So whatever recipe I'm using it in, I could just like kind of break it off a little, put it in, and as the heat gets to it, it'll like kind of separate. This is from June 17th. This is more blanched forage greens from June 8th. And then we have a bunch, well actually, we have more blanched hostas right here from June 6th. Blanched kale from July 27th. We also have more forage greens. There's a lot of forage greens in here, which is good. Forage greens from August 4th. Here's another August 4th. Forage greens from July 7th. Like, look at that. Beautiful. Forage greens. I think they're from Hostas, it looks like. Forage greens from July 22nd. Okay, something different now, finally. This is, I used to throw these out, but it was really a waste. This is White Russian kale stems. What I'm gonna do is, well, I probably should have cut them up before I put them in here, but anyway, I cut them in half, and then I'm gonna put them in a recipe. Well, today I had something with eggs, meat, and cheese and stuff, and chopped these up really fine first, and put some onions in there. Really cooked it down to where the kale stems are very tender, and then added all the other ingredients, and it was actually pretty good. So, and it's very nutritious. So, I mean, I don't want to throw it out. And then we also have This is from my rhubarb plant from July 22nd. So pretty awesome. And look at this. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like pinkish red, like how it's supposed to be. This is from a friend at church. She doesn't eat rhubarb for some reason. I forget. I think it was something medical or an allergy or something. But anyway, she said that they've been in the house for like a couple decades and she's never really picked anything from it. And literally the stems were so fat and huge. It's awesome. So I can't wait to use this. Maybe I'll make rhubarb pie or whatever. I don't know. I did do it in stir fry before and it was actually pretty good. So I'll just have to put everything back and then I'll show you all my dried stuff and canned stuff. Okay, finally done. Now I'm gonna go into the other pantry section and show you all my canned goods. Alrighty, so here's where I'll store all my canned goods. Well, there's one bad news that I gotta tell you, because, I mean, if anyone else wants to do this, I don't know. Well, first of all, I don't know what the specific problem was, but anyway, so I asked, my brother was going on a shopping spree, and I told him to get frozen cherries and blueberries, I wanted to use them in Ruth Ann Zimmerman's recipe of making pie filling. So a few days ago, I was checking all my jars, and all of a sudden, I found in one of my quart jars there was mold on top. So I don't know what happened. I had to throw everything out. It could have been a lot of things. One thing that I was thinking of, it could have been that I didn't wash the fruit before I started using them. Number two, it could be that it didn't seal and thus oxygen would be going inside the bottle, which would make, mold and stuff. And number three, maybe Wegmans put some preservatives or bad stuff in there that wouldn't allow it to be shelf stable or able to be canned. So we'll see. I don't see any mold on the cherry one yet. Hopefully it doesn't happen, because I don't want to waste. It was only like $12 at Wegmans, but I just want it to be shelf stable. So that's that. That's the bad news. I don't know what to do first. I think I'll do all the dried stuff that I'm using for tea. Sorry about that, guys. When this is like hooked up to the same outlet, so when someone turns off the when you go right down the stairs, that light bulb right there, if they don't think that anyone's downstairs, if they turn the light switch, which is near the side door, off, then it'll turn this off. So, sorry about that. I'm gonna start with the herbs that I usually leave in the kitchen cabinet. So, here's some water pepper. Hopefully it'll focus. I don't know if it will, but just trust me. It's water pepper in here, so that's awesome. We have a whole quart jar of mint leaves. We have some horseweed. Some thyme. Some anise from a friend. We have some horseweed in here, which is like a wild tarragon kind of flavor. We have more mint leaves in a smaller container. I call it herb fennel. So this was supposed to be bulb fennel, but it didn't bulb up. So I'm just gonna use that as like an herb, just like garlic or whatever. So that's good. And then we have some marjoram. Not a lot. I'll have to pick more and dry it. Some dried sage leaves. They'll just have to be like chopped up. before it's used in a recipe. And then I used this little bottle. This is actually for twine, but I put all what I'm using for tea in it. So yeah, it's a little cool container. I didn't want to throw it out. So there's that. Okay, so now for all the other tea ingredients, I'll show you them. I actually saved the box they came in, because I mean they all fit in there and keep them very organized. So we have rose leaf, we have lavender from a friend's backyard, we have rose petals. It's a mixture of wild rose, which is my mom's rose bush, that have really, really small pinkish white flowers, and then we also have the regular knockout bush. More rose leaves. This was actually from a vine rose that my neighbor had in her backyard. A bunch of echinacea. Like, this is literally stuffed. I can fit a little bit more, but it's like crazy how much is in there. So and then we also have, so this is what I was talking about, the coneflower. I mean, I probably can't go all the way down, but once they're dried, I just take off the head and put it right in there with the bee balm head, because they really look alike. So, and they smell so good. We also have raspberry leaf. That's also stuffed full. Looks really cool. Mint. There's more mint in there, which is cool. There's so much mint. I'm so glad. This was very tedious to pick, but this is white clover flower. It smells so good. And really, with all these, you won't need a lot. I mean, I've heard from a friend that you could just do like a teaspoon of something, which would probably be like, you know, a pinch of one of these. So really, this can make so much tea, it's crazy. Proceeding on, this is Sweet William Dianthus. All different colors of flowers. And before, I had no idea that was edible, but this year, I mean, I've gone into foraging. I mean, I still have to learn a bunch, but just to know the different edibles, like I know about 25 to 30 edibles around my yard, so just that, I mean, it's so cool, and the health benefits of it is like really cool. This is all lemon balm stuffed, and like I showed you upstairs, there's 2 more crates for drying, and they're literally filled with more lemon balm. So I'm gonna fill up another quart jar with it. A hint, if you want to dry stuff, whether you're doing it on like a crate rack or hang drying it, make sure it's totally and completely dry before you put it in a bottle. Or if there's any moisture in the leaves or flowers or whatever you're doing, it could mold your whole batch, and you're gonna have to throw everything out and start over. So make sure everything is completely dry. Like for these rose leaves, I actually put it in the oven. So I mean, if you want to do that, you can. Usually I just hang dry it, and it pretty much dries it completely. So that's awesome. I haven't really had any issue with drying stuff except for onions. I don't know what I was thinking. So I dried the sprigs. That was good. I usually use it just for a little onion flavor with, like, you know, eggs or whatever. But anyway, I put the onions in a little bottle like this, and it started molding. I had to throw it all away. It was fine. The spring onions were very small, but I should have like dried the onions before I tried to store them. So that's a hint. I actually almost forgot. Before we get to the canning stuff, there's actually more. So we have bee balm leaves, which it's crazy. they like colored the water like really cool. It's like a reddish greenish color, but and they're so pungent. So that's the bee balm leaves, and then mugwort, which is good for respiratory. More rose leaves, rose of Sharon or hibiscus flowers. I wish I picked more, but I mean, I just been so busy. So, and they're really hard to dry. They molded a lot of times because there's a lot of moisture in the petals. So maybe next time I do it, I'll probably put them in the oven, and that'll really dry them out. And the last one is lemon balm. There's more lemon balm in there. Now we'll go to canning. Okay, this is the best. I love, like, I just started, I think it was late June where I started in canning stuff, and it's really awesome. Right now I'm just doing the water bath method because I feel like pressure canning has a lot of information to it that you have to learn before you like proceed and actually pressure can stuff with it. And so what I'm doing, I'm just doing the water bath method, which is very simple and straightforward. All the stuff that you do with it is usually fruit and pickling and stuff. So just like with high acid stuff. So here's my stash. And it goes to this one, but I'll show you a few of the things that I've done so far. I think this is one of the oldest. This is when I first started canning. I actually called it pine straw jam. It's because it's derived from the two things that are in it, which is pineapple and strawberries. So pine straw. Pine straw jam, which was made on June 24th. And there's also another one back there. The same variety. I also learned this year how to can dried fruit. So basically you rehydrate it, you boil it, you strain the juice twice, bring it to a boil, it'll naturally thicken, and then you can can it. So I made some prune jam, and I also made, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here's some raisin jam, and this is from June 29th. So yeah, that's awesome. So satisfying to make jam out of dried stuff. Like it's crazy, and it's so fun. This was made yesterday, which was September 9th, 2023. And this is just blueberry jam. I looked it up. So basically, for every 2 cups of fruit, you do 3/4 cups of sugar and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, I think. So that's awesome. And I called it Blueberry Blast. These blueberries are new. I hope they don't mold like the last batch from my wins, but thankfully I looked on the back. These blueberries were from Costco, and they said they didn't add anything to them, so it's just blueberries. So hopefully they stay that way and don't mold. And I did hot pack them, which basically means if you have the jar, the lid, and the contents that you're about to put in the jar very hot, it'll seal by itself and you won't have to water bath it. So that's what I did for all the jams. That's what Ruth Ann said. So, and it makes it so much easier. And it saves a lot of time. And we also have cherry jam. I used the same recipe or the same measurements as it was for the blueberry jam, but I probably should have waited longer to jar these because the blueberries were, it was 10 cups of frozen blueberries and there was 13 cups of frozen cherries. So I should have kept the heat on it and made it thicker because as the sugar gets inside the fruit or whatever you're putting in, fruit has its own pectin in it, so if I just let it go for more, then it would have thickened more and solidified. Like see, like, it's not supposed to do that if it's jam. It's supposed to be like this. See how it doesn't move? It doesn't move. So, yeah, it's supposed to be solid like that. But, I mean, it's okay. I actually called it Cherry Bomb. I just wanted to make it like a fun name, you know? Cherry Bomb. So yeah, and I don't mind. I usually don't have peanut butter and jelly or almond butter with jelly a lot of times, but I mean, it'll spread even more, so it's not a big deal. What other jam do we have? Oh, this is raisin spice jam. So what I did was, I think I put cloves, cinnamon. I don't think I put nutmeg in it, but I think those two. So instead of just doing raisins, I put some spices in there just to give it more zing, you know. And we also have here some, I call it peach farm jam. My first day at Fisher's Fruit Tree and Christmas Tree Farm, before I was gonna leave, they're like, we're gonna give you a whole like box of peaches for free. So that was really nice of them. And I'm pretty sure it made 15 pints of peach jam. I called it peach farm jam, just to help me remember where it came from. Yeah, so that's awesome. We're gonna go to the applesauce now. I hope you guys remember. Oh, actually, wait. Oh, actually, I guess I can go to this. It's more raisin jam. No big deal. But that was made on June 30th. So that's all raisin jam. Okay. Anyway, so as I was saying, if you guys remember that post where I had the applesauce and it was kind of a dark, light brown color, that stuff was about to go bad, cause, those apples were given to me by a friend, and they had a lot of moldy spots in it, and they weren't even ripe, so they were like very tart, and they were supposed to ripen in October. So at the end of the year, usually they collect it in buckets and spread it out, and the deer like devour them. But anyway, I was like, well, I'd like to use them. I'll make applesauce with it. So I washed them. I cut off actually I didn't wash them. That was the issue. But I cut off all the bad parts and made applesauce and jarred them. And then I made a new batch. And after I skinned them, cored them, took all the bad stuff off, I rinsed them twice. And once the applesauce was done, I'm like, that's such a light color, why is it different? And I remember that I washed them. So this is the actual color that it's supposed to be. See how light it is? And compared to like the light brown stuff, that would have gone bad. And it was actually starting to have a scent that wasn't that good. So I had to throw out all those half pints. Because, I mean, it's better than getting sick or even dying from, what do they call it? Botulism. So yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry. I'm so sad that all those apples went to waste, but I mean, I'm still learning, and that's how you learn. And I'm glad I caught it before anyone ate that applesauce. So when they do give me more, I'll wash them twice after they're cubed, and all the impurities and the dirt and all that rotten stuff won't be in it. So thankfully I have 4 quarts of applesauce, which is, you know, it's better than nothing, and I'm just glad I found out really early. Now let's go to I guess we can go to the other, this is all fruit, but we'll go to, this is homegrown peaches that I just cut up and kind of put it in a brine. So I have 2 bottles of that. That was canned on July 28th. So that's, yep. It's gonna be so good. I'm pretty sure I added some sort of sweetener, syrup or honey or something, just to keep the flavor. And then we also have some store-bought pineapple cubes. Sorry for the lighting. Pineapple cubed. So yeah, there's a bunch of those in there. Actually, I'll have to put that on so I have space to put these in. And I use boxes and trays just because when you just put it straight on here, they could fall really easily. Yeah, it's good to have like a lip and it just keeps everything tidy and stable so it don't break, fall and break. Here's apple pie filling. I put too much cornstarch in there. That's why it looks like really thick, but my brother's like, well, that's what I like about it. I like that flavor that it gives in the texture. So, as I said, I had to throw out all the blueberry pie filling that was right here. But again, it's a learning curve, and you know what? It's just how it is. You just have to learn from your mistakes. Again, I don't know exactly why it molded, but maybe in the future I'll find out. So here's cherry pie filling. I hope that it doesn't mold, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure it might have been the sealing process didn't go right, but we'll see. Here is something called berry blend that has, let me see, raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries, I believe. Got it from Costco. That's gonna be pie filling. I use cornstarch and organic sugar in it. And here's regular blueberry pie filling. So cool. Now we can go to pickles. I'm gonna see if I can show you. There's the half-gallon ones. Look awesome. These are called salt and pepper pickles, and they mature a yellow color. I canned these yesterday. Look, it's gonna be so good. And then I also have, I think it's like Marketmore or something, but they're more of like a greener color, so that's why they're mixed with the salt and pepper in that one. And then in this row, I have store-bought cucumbers. That's when I started pickling for the first time. So it was a good experience just to test your skills out. And then here's the brine that I use every time I cut the cucumbers and put them in there to make pickles. And I just keep on adding water and pickles as I need it. And here's the best homemade sauce, homemade pasta sauce. Beautiful stuff. Awesome. And next week I'm gonna make even more stuff. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff you can do to preserve your harvest. Freezing is good, but at the same time, if the electricity goes out, you're gonna have to use that up really fast or like throw stuff out. So I might want to try to get into pressure canning, because I mean, if you have meat and stuff that's in the freezer, it's good to put it on the shelf, and like whether or not outage happens, like you have it, and you won't have to worry about eating through it or like throwing out good meat, you know. So yeah, it's just good to have like all this stuff and at your disposal whenever you need it or whenever you want it. This stuff will last for years. So yeah, happy freezing, happy drying, happy canning, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.